Hi everyone, welcome to your Tuesday's Clues by Sam. We have a medium one today, so from easy to medium in a single day, that's an interesting one. And if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a daily puzzle where there are 20 people, each of them must be assigned a role, either criminal or innocent, and you gotta figure what that role is using the clues that they themselves might give you. We are here doing this every day. You can check the link in the description to play it as well if you want to do so. And if you want to do it along with me, I'm gonna start mine right now and I'm gonna explain my logic as I go. So let's go. We start with Gary telling us that Ryan is one of two innocents in between Betty and Vicky. Where's Betty? Where's Vicky? Gary is an innocent who is between Betty and Vicky. So who's the second person? Ryan. That makes us know that Lisa is not an innocent since we already have two between Betty and Vicky. So Lisa is a criminal. Now Lisa says that exactly one innocent on the edges is a farmer. Do we have any farmers already on the edges who are innocents? We have Gary again. And any other farmers on the edges? Vicky. So Vicky is not an innocent because she is a farmer, but the innocent farmer we know is already Gary. So Vicky is a criminal now. We don't need any of these people's clues anymore. Now Vicky says that only one of the two innocents neighboring Ryan is in row 5. So Ryan has two innocents neighboring him, 5 people neighboring him total. He has 2 people neighboring him in row 5. One of them is already a criminal, so the second one has to be the single innocent. And that makes Sophia and Nick one an innocent and the other one a criminal to make the second innocent and final one the neighbor's Ryan. Right? Will now says that 2 of us 3 singers have an innocent directly to the left of us. Okay, so all 3 singers are in the same row and everybody is kind of to the left of everybody except for Zara. So let's say that one innocent doesn't have an innocent to their left, and that innocent is Will. He has Vicky to his left. So the other 2 singers have to be innocents so that 2 innocents are to the left of singers. Because if Zara were to be an innocent, I guess Sarah doesn't matter. She could be an innocent or not. The point is that she's not to the left of anybody. So if Xavier were to be a criminal, he is to the left of Zara, who is a singer. And now we only have one singer with an innocent to their left, and that's Xavier himself. Zara isn't to the left of any other singers, and there's no other singers on the board, so it doesn't matter what she is, but Xavier couldn't be a criminal. Now Xavier says that an odd number of innocents in column B neighbor Lisa. Where's Lisa? Okay, we know that Lisa has 2 people neighboring her who also neighbor Ryan, and one of them is an innocent, the other one is a criminal. And there's a third person who neighbors her in column B. If that person were to be an innocent, we would have 2 innocents neighboring her in column B, and that's an even number, so that couldn't be. Ike has to be a criminal. And now Ike says there are no innocents to the left of Olga. Where's Olga? Olga has 2 people to the left of her. One of them is already a criminal, but the second one couldn't be an innocent because there are no innocents. So Nick has to be a criminal, and that makes Sophia an innocent. Now Sophia says there are exactly 2 criminals above Will, and we already know about both of them. They are Ike and Nick, so that makes Daniel an innocent. And now Daniel says that there's an equal number of criminals in columns A and B. Well, we know there's 2 criminals total in column B, so column A already has 2 as well. That makes Betty the last person in their column an innocent. And now Betty says that both criminals below Eric are connected. So there's 4 people below Eric. One of them is Xavier, and he's an innocent. The other 3 we don't know about yet, but we know that Olga is the only one who's connected to any others. So she has to be one of the criminals. And Janet and Tina are one an innocent, the other one a criminal. Now Olga says there are exactly 3 criminals in column C. We know about 2 of them, right? One of them is Olga herself. The other one is either going to be Janet or Tina, so the third one could only be Eric. Now Eric says there are more innocents in row 1 than row 5. We're talking about rows here, not columns anymore. So we know how many innocents there are in row 1 so far, 2. And how many are there in row 5? 2 as well. So we know that we couldn't have both Flora and Zara be innocents because that will result in the same number of innocents in both columns. And if Zara is an innocent at all, there's no way for row 1 to have more innocents than row 5. So Zara has to be a criminal. And now both have the same number of innocents, which means that Flora has to be an innocent as well, so that row 1 has more than 2. Now, Flora says that Janet and Kyle have only one innocent neighbor in common. Janet and Kyle. Well, they have one innocent in common already, that's Flora. So Phil, who's her last person they have in common neighboring them, couldn't be an innocent as well, because they have only one. And now Phil says that only one person in row 2 has exactly 3 criminal neighbors. Do we know about that person already? That's Gary. Gary's in row 2 and he has all his neighbors already figured out, and 3 of them are criminal. So that makes, I guess Kyle couldn't be a person with 3 criminal neighbors as well. And he already has 3, which means that the last person that neighbors him has to be a neighbor as well, so that he doesn't end up with 3 only. Did I say that they have to be a neighbor as well? They have to be a criminal. Now Janet makes Tina an innocent, and Janet says there are 9 innocents in total. How many do we have already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So everybody else is a criminal. Kyle and Uma. That was an easy one, a good one. 541. Is this less than my last record? I don't think so, because the text isn't green. So I'm seeing the pattern here, but I'm pretty happy about this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, let me know how it went for you if you did play today's, and I'll see you next time tomorrow with more Clues by Sam. So, bye bye.